Welcome to FRACT, a 100 million page fractal coloring book. FRACT was designed to be an educational tool for generating hand-drawn fractal art, where whatever you draw is iterated through one of millions of fractal formulas to generate unique fractals in real time. The pictures you'll draw are just as much pieces of art as they are complex, endlessly detailed, and somewhat self-similar mathematical objects. You can see how whatever you're drawing is flipped, rotated, curved, and scaled iteratively according to whichever formula is selected, and you can instantly generate a new random fractal whenever you like. You can also save your drawings and use them as wallpapers or add them to your art collection. This program uses Mandelbrot and Julia formulas, as well as their burning ship and negative or fractional order variants. You don't need to be familiar with how these fractal formulas work to use the program though. Just know that these formulas move their inputs in chaotic ways which generate similar but warped versions of your drawing at different scales. Have a play around. If you'd like to choose a specific fractal formula to run your drawing through, there's a select screen where you can pick a point on a parent fractal to generate a Julia set from. Alternatively, you can also use the parent set and burning ship variants. The top right lets you see the coordinates of your cursor so you can select a fractal you've seen before if you'd like. Left-clicking draws, scrolling the mouse wheel at any time changes the pen color, and right-clicking opens the menu. From there, you can adjust settings by scrolling or using the arrow keys over an option, like turning on the eraser, changing the opacity or solidness of the pen, increasing the degree to which each point drawn by the pen is scattered away from the mouse for shading, as well as some post-processing effects and a rough boundary calculator to allow you to only color the inside or the outside of the fractal like a true coloring book, but where the lines are invisible until you draw. There's also an auto-run mode where the computer draws for you according to the settings you've selected, so you can leave the computer to draw for a while and come back to see what it's created. The bottom of the context menu has the details about the current fractal, so you can learn more about the sorts of breeds of fractals by taking a look. It will first say the order, that is the exponent in the formula, then whether it's a standard or burning ship equation, then whether it's a Julia set or Mandelbrot set, then the complex constant that's used, which will be fixed in a Julia set or vary as the mouse moves for a Mandelbrot set. There's a lot to learn from this information while you draw, so have a think about how the power affects the symmetries, and particularly how the negative powers give fractals with very different properties. Negative powers often result in strangely inverted looking sets, so the outside of the set is contained in a small area and the inside of the set fills the rest of the plane. Most fractals contain spirals, but have a think about how there are many kinds of spirals. Ones that spiral in, ones that spiral out, ones that coil tightly, and others that fly straight into a point. These are often more easily observed while holding the mouse on the spot for a while or while drawing a straight line and watching what the fractal points do. It's also worth considering things like the difference between burning ships and Mandelbrots. Burning ships tend to exhibit a bouncing effect, where one of the iterated points separate from the mouse appears to bounce off an invisible wall while the mouse is drawing in a straight line. These invisible walls often form the bounds of interesting shapes made from smooth curves and straight lines. Also try different drawing techniques. Holding the mouse on the spot with scatter set to about 10 will give a nice circle around the mouse, and this circle will be squished and warped, expanded and contracted, folded and spread across the plane in many different spots. Try drawing straight lines, which may be straight but on a different angle in other areas, or curved or jagged. Try drawing a spiral. In some areas it might become a wave shape. Also take note of how changes accumulate. A straight line might be a straight line in the next iteration, then a curve in the next, and then a wiggle in the next one, adding more and more strange modifications through the iterations. Lines which seem to be drawing very different shapes to you while you draw are probably many iterations away. If any of this sounds interesting to you, consider downloading FRACT and donating a small amount if you'd like to generate fun images with it. I like to think FRACT also has great potential as a teaching tool to explore fractal dynamics in an interactive way. Let me know what you use it for.